me all of that.
I second.
And he's incredible at it. Like it's when it, not just in sales, but just how he structures his family time, his time with God, his time to hit his goals, like for selling, fitness. Like he's been a great example and he's a huge mentor to me, man. Like the fact that I'm on this whole podcast with you guys, like the record video with you guys, is a huge honor because I don't mean to get too off topic, but I lost my dad like 7 years ago, so Jeremy has been that type of father figure to me where I can look to, and it's been huge. So like if you haven't found a mentor in your entrepreneur kind of journey, like find somebody. And I've just been blessed to have Jeremy in my life. One of the other things and thank you, Jeremy. I know I talked to you about it a lot, but I appreciate you. But
yeah, I love you, buddy.
Love you, man. So, but yeah, so I talked about goal setting, and then, man, what was the other thing I mentioned before I went into that?
Austin, can I hop in real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I think one thing that has set you apart, and I've seen in top producers, and like really helps you do well, is you're authentic and you're honest and you have those conversations with yourself and you're willing to have them with other people. Like how many times have you and I talked, or you and your coach have talked about just being honest with yourself where you're at, like having those accountability meetings with yourself frequently of why did I not hit my goal, or why did I hit my goal, or why are my wife and I having a good experience? Like asking yourself internally to like look in the mirror of like, why am I doing well and why am I not doing well? I think you're probably one of the best, and you've learned this over time, at like really analyzing your situation, because the only way to grow is to figure out where you're at and then go connect yourself with someone that has already figured it out, and then be teachable and then apply what they're talking to you about, and then that's how you can kind of beat the learning curve and fast forward in your life. And I think you're probably one of the best at it, and that's why you're doing so well.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Like, and I just want to be better. And that's like the whole, like in the CrossFit world, like just be 1% better every single day. A lot of the Atomic Habits kind of principles coming out, and a lot of the things that have allowed me to be successful have come out of that. Just be a little bit better every single day. And that's why I've always tried to invest in coaching and in door-to-door con, and I'll fly out to see Sam Taggart do a boot camp on sales and anything I can get my hands on to help me be better. But the one thing you asked, like, what helped me really, like, hockey stick? It's crazy. We had like an anthem banquet at the end of my first year, and no one really knew who I was, but I ended up going to this banquet at the time and just kind of get to know the company. I was out here selling in Atlanta all by myself through September, October, and November. So I was just, putting up accounts for the company while everyone had already gone home. Well, I went to this banquet, and one of the things that I'll never forget was the CEO said that all of the things in life, like getting married, having kids, they're huge. They're things that will help you level up as a man. And so I've seen that in my life. Like just getting married has helped me level up. And the CEO said every single time you take one of those steps, you decide to get married, you decide to do that big step or take that risk or have a kid, it'll actually bring more out of you as a man. And so I'm looking back on my career. I have a whole video that Anthem did on me on this, but it was really crazy when I found out that we were going to have a baby girl. It just brought out this monster in me where I'm like, I'm not going to be average. Like I don't want to be an average dad. And like, I still remember that summer going from like being scared to see if I could hit 3 accounts a day to selling 7 a day every single day, just because I had to make it happen, because I knew that I had a baby girl on the way. Man, it's crazy. Like I still have, like, my daughter's still here, so like on my I have this in my car every day, so like if I'm ever lacking motivation, like I literally just pull it down. And yesterday was one of those days, man, where I'm like, shoot, like I'm tired, and then I just look at the picture and I'm like, nope, I'm not. Like I can keep going. It's been crazy. Like as a dad recently, like before Georgia was born, I felt like I was gonna go like 1,000% like all the time, and I did. Like I did awesome. Now that George has been born, the problem with my urgency is like, and the reason why I'm like struggling that is because I want more moments with my daughter. And so it's not a bad thing at all. It's really cool that I'm learning this and figuring out how to balance like being a top performer, but also realizing that you never know when your last day is here. So really, I literally try to live my life every day to where if I died today, like my daughter would have had time with me, and I worked my butt off, I provided for my family, but like every day I try to live where I could die today and everybody would be okay, or like my family would still be in a good spot. if that makes sense. Like, my family is my why. So that's where I talk about getting a big why. That is your purpose and why you're doing what you're doing. So like really get clear on what you want in life, like what really motivates you. And there's nothing that motivates me more than just providing for my family. And that's when I'm happiest too. Competition motivates me a ton. I go into like some pretty crazy modes for competition, just because I love it. But the reason I'm doing this, like the competitions at the end of the day don't matter. It's like my family matters, like me providing for them and who I am as a person. So that's just another thing that you asked, like what has helped me be successful? It's been really diving into just providing for my family and being the man that they can look to. And I'm not perfect, but trying to be that man that they can look to and be like, wow, like that's Dad. He's super cool. And whenever I'm not having fun with this job, it's because I forget about that. I forget about my why. I forget about me providing for my family, and I start focusing on other external things like pressure to be the best or pressure that everyone's watching me. Like I just had a conversation with my coach about this the other day, external factors. And really the one thing that's helped me be successful is just provide for Kaya and Georgia.
Dude, I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
That is why everybody loves Austin. I mean, you guys, you won't get a more genuine interview than this, to see the emotions come out in him, to see his why and his passion. And dude, this is awesome. So for time's sakes, I'd love for you to give us 3 pieces of advice that you would give to a new person that's diving into real estate, door-to-door real estate, for the first time, struggling. What are 3 things you would tell them to do to help them be successful and be able to step in your footsteps and follow this journey you've been on?
First thing is just be a sponge and ask all the questions in the world and read everything you can get your hands on and go to every conference. Who cares if it costs you $1,000 or $2,000? Just go. Spend the money, go. You've got to be a sponge. You've got to invest in yourself. And that looks like investing in yourself. That's the first point. That looks like waking up and doing morning studies and sales. You never know it all. Nobody ever knows it all. I still study sales in the morning, and I still study body language and persuasion. Like I still study all that stuff. So be a sponge, learn as much as you can, go to the conference, pick everybody's brain, be that annoying guy that always asks all the questions. I trained the guys at Anthem, and there's always that one kid during preseason that's just asking me 20,000 questions. Well, guess who's kicking butt right now? That kid, not the guys that didn't say anything. So ask all the questions. That's number one, just be a sponge. Second thing is find yourself a mentor, somebody that's going to take you under their wing. One of the really cool things about Jeremy and I's relationship is that there are 0 money ties. It is just a organic, true, like brotherhood, like friendship, where we care about each other, and we've been there for a lot. We've been there for each other on a lot of different occasions. So like find somebody that you can lean on that can help support you, that really wants to see you succeed and wants the best for you. The third thing is routines. So like you need something to, you need some order in your life. I used to have a very, 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 very structured routine, like down to the minute. And then with a 2-year-old, 19-month-old, life happens. So you've got to figure out how to make it happen. But those routines, like if you just implement a miracle morning, if you've ever read Hal Elrod's book, but with exercise, with journaling, with gratitude, with all of those things that help you be successful. So the 3 things are just be a sponge, go to the conferences, invest in yourself, then find a mentor, number 2, and then number 3, implement routines and systems into your life. And that's been the bread and butter to my success. That's what continues to help me be successful. And when I'm not being successful, when I'm not hitting my goals, I just have to go back to the basics. And I have to remind myself, like, hey, this is what you need to be doing in order to have the results you want. It's funny because we forget sometimes, but it's all simple. So,
yeah, those are amazing. Jeremy, any takeaways you want to throw out here before we wrap up this call?
Yeah, no, Austin, again, thanks so much for being on the call. I would probably say one of my favorite stories about Austin is we went to a conference when he just started in sales, and he hadn't even sold an account. Him and I had been working together on strategy, on sales training, on tips and tricks. And I paid for his ticket, invited him up to this big door-to-door conference. And there was a breakout session where we were practicing with one of the top in the door-to-door industry. And he had asked the audience if anyone wanted to come up and practice. And Austin raised his hand, went up there. Had probably never done a real live role play or been on the doors, but he went up there and he got through the pitch, and it was crazy. Everyone was laughing at him in the audience, because he fumbled and it wasn't perfect, which was to be expected. And now, fast forward 4 years, who's laughing now? Because Austin went to that seminar, he was willing to learn. He was a sponge. He was okay to get up and practice. He didn't care if people laughed at him. And then from there, he went and got a coach. Austin now has a full-time coach he pays for. He's got a life and marriage coach that I know that him and his wife are hopping on and going to pay for. He goes to multiple seminars a year. And now he's, like he talked about, he's put his systems in place to be where he's at, but he wasn't there. It's a great lesson that anyone can get to where Austin is. They can do that type of production. All you need is a coach or a mentor or someone that's there that can just hold your hand, and all you have to do is be teachable and learn.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more, guys. I mean, this has been insightful. I mean, for anybody watching, these guys are beasts in the industry. And if you haven't taken a pile of notes, go back and rewatch it and do so, and then watch it again and do it again, and follow the advice that Austin and Jeremy are throwing out. Be sponges and soak up everything you can possibly learn from people that are killing it. So, hey guys, thanks for being on today. I appreciate your time and efforts, and look forward to getting you on this call again and letting people soak some more information out of you guys. But thanks again for being here.